Hi friends, my name is Dara and this is Dear Hallmark. This is a space where I nerd and geek out over all things Hallmark channel, movies, TV shows, and stuff. And so Fall Harvest has begun and we're giving our first Fall Harvest movie with Tyler Hynes and Alaina with Roadhouse Romance. So without even sparing you the formalities of giving you the premise, I'm gonna just be honest, I wasn't interested. I was nervous originally because of Lauren's acting, but she did okay. Like, I think it wasn't bad, but it didn't wow me either. And I think this movie was made for a specific demographic. Like, I feel like if you're very much into country music, if you love you some Tyler Hynes, like, this is going to be your movie. Not that I don't love Tyler, but I just was bored. Like, it made me understand why people found Sand Dollar Cove boring or slow. I got it after watching this movie, because this movie was very slow to me. I mean, yeah, I just wasn't interested. Lauren was cute. I love that we had a curvy girl as a lead. Loved her outfits. She was like some of that effervescence we saw in her Facebook Live with Tyler. I could tell, of course, she tried to, she had to be a different character, but you could tell, like, she could not stop smiling throughout this whole movie. And that speaks true to who she is, at least what I gathered from that Facebook Live. But I will say this. My favorite scene out this whole joint was when they're in the car. And so Luke gets a call. And he said, this was red flag number one. He said, okay, you pull over for a minute. And she's like, okay. And then he sees who it is. And he's like, can I get some privacy? I said, I know he didn't have the audacity to ask her in her car for her to get out. And then I was so happy when she was like, yeah, I'll give you some privacy, and then go open his door, as she should have. I love that. And then she's like, come on, like, fam, I got stuff to do. What are you doing, sir? I'm like, you're on borrowed time here. And she just out and out left him. I loved it. I wasn't expecting it, and I loved it. I did chuckle a few times throughout, but like I said, overall, this was, this just wasn't my cup of tea. I could see why other people loved it. It was cute, but I was just bored. I was on my phone a lot, and I knew, because I wanted to be on my phone so much, it wasn't doing anything for me. So with that being said, I'm gonna give it 2.5 crowns. And for those of you who haven't seen it yet, let me give you a little bit of the premise. Callie, played by Lauren Alaina, is returning home she's an Army vet, and she's at her grandfather's barbecue joint. And there, she tastes the food, and she's like, hold on, what's going on with this recipe? And so maybe that was another thing. Like, I felt like there were so many things. Like, it was the barbecue, then it was her being in the Army, along with her singing. And it was a lot, at least for me. I think the singing, they just put that in there because she's a country music singer. She can sing her face off, mind you. But there was really nothing that they did with her singing. Like, I thought that was going to go somewhere, but it didn't. And I just wasn't interested. Like, there were no stakes for me. With that being said, next week is Raise a Glass to Freedom, Love, whatever the Hamilton song is. I promise you they got that from Hamilton, and you can't tell me otherwise. It stars Laura Osnes and Juan Pablo de Pace. That starts next week, but yeah, this one's going to be short and sweet, y'all, because there's not much to be said. While I was excited for My Brother from Another, this one is very, like, I feel like it's a niche audience for this, and I'm not it, unfortunately. So I'm trying to think, is there anything else I'm missing? It made me want some barbecue, I'll tell you that. Never have I ever wanted barbecue with a roll with some cinnamon butter and or pulled pork, something or other, from watching this movie. I'll tell you that. I did like that one little bit from Luke and the guy Joe, who was Joe is a scrub. Like, he could go somewhere. He was such a scrub. But that little scene when they're in the mechanic shop and they're kind of going back and forth, I thought something was going to come of it, but it was still a little bit, like, I felt like they held back. And I'm like, no, go for it. Give me full verbal Mortal Kombat. You know what I'm saying? Or like a battle of wits. Like, I really wanted something to be done more with that scene. But yeah. Oh, and the part where the dog took the oven mitt, I was like, sis just left the kitchen? Who's tending to my food? Like, my stuff is gonna get burnt, sis. I need you back on that stove. But other than that, like I said, this one's going to be, this review is mad short because there's not much to be said. I just recommend you watch it yourself. I feel like this is going to be a preference thing. Like, it's not inherently bad, like I said. I just think if you're interested in it, like, if you care about country music, barbecue, and Tyler, this is going to be your movie. I only care about 2 of the 3 things, and it still didn't do nothing for me. So, yeah, that's kind of what I have to say concerning Roadhouse Romance. But let me know in the comments. Let's discuss. Did you like the movie? I'm probably on an island by myself on this one, but let me know. Did you like the movie? Did you not? Are there some people out there who actually didn't? What did you think about Lauren in this? This is her second movie, I think. Which I thought like I said, she held her own, but yeah. So let's discuss in the comments. I look forward to talking with you guys about Raise a Glass to Freedom. And let me see what else. Make sure to follow Dear Hallmark on Instagram, because we have lots of fun over there. We've created a nice little Dear Hallmark community where we just cut up. And I'm here for it. And I want you to be there too. So there's a link in the description so you could go to the Dear Hallmark Instagram page. We can get to know one another, and we can just cut up and talk about who our favorite actors and actresses are. And also, Dear Hallmark is a podcast. So if you want to hear my thoughts concerning backlist titles like Irresistible Blueberry Farm, Love on the Air, Country Wedding, I'm going to be doing All of My Heart coming out on Monday. If you're interested in that, let me know. Not let me know, but be sure to check out the podcast. There's a link for that in the show notes, as well as in the show notes. That's my podcasting language. In the description box. And there's also a link for you to leave a voice message that could be played in the podcast. You get a minute's worth of time to just tell me your thoughts about whatever Hallmark related you want to talk about. And I'll play your clip on the podcast and respond to it. So with that being said, y'all, thank you so much for joining me with this review, this episode of Dear Hallmark. Like I said, I look forward to speaking with you guys and dialoguing in the comments. So I will talk to you guys in the next video.